All right, good evening, everybody. We are starting in earnest. All right, today we're to look at string operations in Python. So this is our slide, and this is what we will do today. Yes, in the assignment from the previous class, we asked that we should go and look at two operations, string operations that can be done on Python. So one of the assignment question was, what is immutability of string operations? So here I wrote something that has to do with immutability. Immutability is a characteristic. Immutability is a characteristic that each string character is assigned its own location, its own, not on, its own location. In the string variable, if animal equals to rat, each letter is assigned specific memory locations and cannot be replaced by another. You cannot assign or print the same rat into the location rat in the list to check memory location. To check memory location, run this program that you wrote here. So what immutability means here is that once a particular string is assigned to a variable name, even if you are going to write same string, same thing, it cannot go into that same memory location. It can only go into another memory location. So you cannot replace that one until you delete it. Understand? So what is stored in that memory is stored in that memory. So even if it is the same thing, it will be stored in another memory. So that is the idea of immutability. That what is being assigned to a variable sticks to that variable location, as in that memory location assigned to the variable. You can only add. Alternatively, you delete it out. But nothing else, no matter the fact that there might be more than one. Even if we write rat up to 10, it can only be one rat stored in one memory location. In a situation whereby rat has 3 letters, arrow can only be stored in one memory location, A can only be stored in one memory location, and T can only be stored in one memory location. That is the idea of immutability. You cannot carry T and replace it with the place of arrow. You cannot carry A and replace it with the place of T after spelling the word rat in string. Unlike integers, integers are more mutable in variable. Okay, when you assign them a memory location, whereas strings are not so. That's the idea of mutability. Mr. Isaac, you're welcome. Did you go through the assignment? Are you
Yeah,
there?
yes, I did.
What do you have for us?
Okay, good evening, everyone. I looked at assignment was string operations in Python. I looked at backslash. Um, Whenever you want to write a statement and you want to repeat it, or one wants to repeat it, instead of writing it in 3 different lines or 5 different lines or 10 different lines, the backslash can be used. Like, for example, I did print hello world.
Can you show us, share a screen?
Yeah, I can share my screen.
Okay.
Okay, let me keep it this way, I think. Um, can you see it well?
Try. I can see if I can get it.
It's somewhere around here, backslash, where I have the hash. So string operations in Python, hash, backslash. So you print hello world, backslash, n, hello world, backslash, n, hello world. And the result is somewhere around here, printed it 3 times. And the other operation is concatenate, and it's represented by the symbol plus, the plus symbol. Over here, I print a lot creamy plus plus cupcake. And since there's nothing like spacing in Python, the plus sign is the spacing. So that's concatenate. So you join different different words to make a sentence. And over here, we get to see a low creamy cupcake. That's all I did.
That's great. So when you do a backslash and write a backslash n,
Yeah.
it creates new line.
Yes, it creates
It
line.
doesn't print on the same line.
It
Yeah, that's
doesn't
a big
same
string
line
operation.
line. So if
Then
I
when you
want,
do plus sign twice, it creates space.
yes,
That's great. That's great. All right. So at least you are able to get 2 string operations.
yes.
All right.
Okay, let
So,
me.
okay, you want to show me something else?
No, I wanted to return the screen back to you.
All right. Okay. So that's it for the assignment. Then, did you check anything about immutability?
I checked on it, but I didn't really understand it.
All right.
I'm going through
Uh,
video.
okay, let me explain again. The idea of immutability is that once you define a variable, then assign a string to it. That string, a simple example is rat has 3 letters,
Yeah.
R, A, and T stands for rat. The
Okay.
location that R is stored cannot be replaced by A and cannot be replaced by T. You understand me?
Yeah.
So the idea that you cannot turn it to TAR or ATR
Okay.
means immutability. It cannot be changed. The location, the positions cannot be changed because they are stored in locations that make sure that they go serially that way. So you can only add more strings, but you cannot alter their position. That's the idea of immutability. You understand now?
Yeah, I do.
So there is a program that checks for the positions, the location, memory locations of each string. Let me go to my atom, which I use in writing my Python programs. So I like opening it using the command line. I want everybody to get used to accessing the application through the command line, not necessarily going through their user interface, graphic user interface. So I'm launched my atom now. Let's go to the file which I did something on string operations. All right, we are here. All right, this is a program to locate where character strings are stored or string characters, immutability of strings. In this program, we will notice that each word is stored in a single memory location. Like I try to define a variable here called fuel. In fuel, we have wood, we have ethanol, we have petroleum. And to get the location of which they are stored, let me confirm other programs so that they don't run while I'm running this one. So now we notice that wood is stored in a memory, this memory location. Ethanol is stored in this memory location, and petroleum is stored in the memory location. So you cannot change, you cannot take petroleum and put in front of wood because that has been the memory location assigned to that string operation. So this program for char, this char can mean anything, it can be I, it can be J, it can be B. I just declared a particular variable. For a variable which I declared here, which is char, actually add the idea of character. So I didn't want to just write CHAR because I don't know if Python has CHAR as a reserved word. I've not confirmed that yet. So I wanted to avoid that. For char in range 0 and 3, it should be 0 and 2 because these are 0, 1, 2. So print field of variable. I now wrote equals to ID field of the variable. That's char in this case. So it gave us this. Okay. Says 0. Okay, 0 to 3. I think I was correct initially. 0 to 3 to run the 3 programs. I need to find a way to make this my program bold so that people can be seen. Are you able to see it, Mr. Isaac?
Yeah, I can see it. I can see it
Clearly,
very well.
like wood
Yes,
and all, and the numbers.
I've seen it. 25319683765.
All right, all right. I'm afraid that somebody may not be able to see it clearly.
I've seen it.
All right, that's for that. So I want you to also notice something. Let me open this other program so that it will run alongside. Look at the way I'm writing this string operation. I'm putting comma in between them. This other one, there are no comma in between them. And I'm not also putting this string brackets. Let's look at how this one runs. Now, the first one runs the full word. The second one run by letters. Have you noticed that?
Yes, I have.
Uh-huh. Records the string by letters in the memory locations. Have you noticed that?
Yes, I have.
Why do you think it's happening like that?
Because because of the commas. There are no commas in the second one. You only have the
Yes,
string.
that's the beautiful thing about Python. The commas tells it that this is a single word, whereas this one, the whole of this is one single word. Not minding the fact that we did this apostrophe all through. So you can see the number of words there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let me just put any arbitrary big number, like 20, because I know Python does not exceed what it reads. So even if I put an arbitrary big number, it will not mind. So you see, it has read the whole letters according to the memory location they are stored. And whereas in this one, it read them by words.
Yeah.
So this is the beauty of immutability of strings. It is so designed that you cannot take uh, this one, even though it may be, let's say, this is O. We have O here. Despite the fact that O are much here, they are all located here in the almost the same memory location, but they are repeated. So the idea of immutability is that this place you're seeing, this O you are seeing, 3280,
Yeah.
3280, 15 of this are all stored and arranged separately. You cannot carry this one to replace with this other one. So now wood has its own memory location. Yeah, ethanol has its own memory location, and petroleum has its own memory location. Whereas in this case, W has its own memory location. O has its own memory location. D has its own memory location. So each of them have their memory location, even though they are different words. So that's just how mutability works. So in a situation whereby data is typed more than once, all it now needs to do is to repeat that letter more than once. So I also want you to look at, I want us to look at this other one and see how it's going to print. Or will it be different from the other? With an arbitrary number here. Let me run. All right. Observe that the second one and the third one are running similarly. They have similar operations. The second one and the third one. Look at the second one. I put apostrophe here, put it
Initial
here,
what?
I put it here. Whereas this one, it was only at the beginning and
And
the end. Now, let me do something else. Let me put the string bracket here. Let's look at something. If it's still going to run the same. Now, it has called an
message.
error message after running the first one, telling us that list index out of range. So definitely, whether we put comma if or not, is going to divide the word. If we put comma, it's going to split according to the commas. But if we do not put the comma, it is not going to split. But we cannot use the brackets if we do not put the commas. So now, let's put the commas here without the brackets. Let's see how it's going to run. The same thing, same issues. So it's telling us that the stuff is out of range. Oh, it has run the first one, run the second one that has a comma. Okay, it's a third one. It is the third one that that it cannot run, telling us that this is out of range. Which line is that? Line 16. That is where we have problem. Line 16. So okay, it's telling us that this is out of range because we have increased it to 20. So this should be 3. Let's run it again. All right, have you seen that? All right, let's keep this one at 20 and see how it goes. All right, it told us that the words are out of range, but the letters, it did not consider it. So there are a lot of things about Python that one needs to really understand. So we have been able to address the idea of immutability of strings. So that by that we can move to something else. All right, let's look at something else under this string operation, counting letters or words in string. I tried to craft this program. I tried to craft it. Let's look at this. Fuel equals to wood, ethanol, petroleum. Then if we want to write a program that counts the number of O in, in the single string, it's called wood, ethanol, petroleum. If you observe, we have not included a comma here. So it is one word. So O, we declare a variable called O and set it to be equals to 0. Then we say for I in here, if I is 0, sorry, is O plus equals to 1. This O plus equals to 1 is the same thing as saying O equals to O plus 1.
Okay.
Yes. So this is the short form of it. I needed to introduce it here so that you see it further in Python. We will not get confused. It's the
How
same thing
about the
as saying
one that we have double equals to?
double equals to
Yeah.
is
If
an exact how do I call it? It's not an assignment statement. It means something exactly like this. That is what it means. This one equals to is an assignment statement. It assigns 0 to O, to the variable O. Then this other one is an exact statement. It's like saying, this is this.
yeah.
If it is not this, it is not it. So if I is exactly as O equals to O plus 1, print O, then print I. So we want to count the number of O in the sentence: wood, ethanol, petroleum. Remember, it's one sentence, so we've
Yeah.
not put comma to separate them as words, because as words, we cannot count per letters. We can only count per word. So now let's run the program. Now it has counted 4 O's for us. O number 1, number 2 O, number 3 O, and number 4. So we have 4 O's in that sentence. We can do same with other letters. So to understand this program, you first of all define a variable that counts, which is O in our case. Then we now set another variable that looks at each of that identifies, that represents each word, sorry, each letter in this case in the sentence. And I, in this case, needs to look for I that is exactly as O. So each of these I represent the words, the letters in this sentence. Then when I is exactly as O, it should count it. O equals to O plus 1. Then it should print O, that is the number, and will now print I, in this case, which is O. If we just say print I outside of this loop, it's going to print all the letters here. You understand me?
Yeah.
But since it is within this loop that says it has to be exactly like O, it will only print O and count it. So that's it for that program. So that is one thing that gets to confuse us in Python. So once you understand that logic, I'm not sure you really have issues writing Python programs. It was when I understood those little logic, I was able to craft some of these programs. I might read something online have an idea, use it, develop my own kind of program without copying what is online. So you'll be able to understand how to manipulate lots of things and write it on Python. Then let's look at, oh, this program is not complete. We should not have hashed all of it. Yes, I wanted us to see
Yeah, I was
something.
about to say, it shouldn't have a red under.
Have what?
Why is it showing red under I? I don't like
Okay,
it.
okay. I did not open my atom as a how do I call it? I didn't open it as a Python language. I just wrote the program on my atom. So the only difference is that atom is able to recognize Python language.
Okay.
You understand me? If I
Understand.
actually wrote it, opened it as a Python program, most of these things will not highlight. You understand now?
Yeah.
So let's, I want to print each of the letters. I want you to understand what I was saying initially. So I've hashed this other one, this other loop, so that it won't run. Let's look at this other one. Now look at it. It has printed all the words in, in the sentence. Wood, ethanol, petroleum. By writing the program for I in field, print I. Remember, this one is different from just setting I to be exactly as O. So you understand the difference now. Now let's look at another program. This looks like same program where we counted letters in a list, but it will run same. To get what we may intend to achieve, we may count words instead. Let's add new repeated words, plastic, to this. Okay, now look at repeated words, plastic, comma, let me make space here so that I to read properly. Let me add repeated word here, plastic, let me add another one here, plastic. All right, now let's look at this program. If we run it the way we run and want to count per word, the program will have a problem. It will not, it will run because the code is correct, but it will not give us the result we are looking for. So now let's run that. Notice that not it doesn't return anything to us. Have you seen so?
Um, try, do it again.
Okay. Now look at the program. It's the same as the one that we counted the number of O's.
Yeah.
The same program, but in this case, remember, look at the declaration of the variable. We have wood, plastic, ethanol, plastic, petroleum, plastic. But the difference is that we have splitted them into words. They are no longer words, it's not one sentence. You understand now?
Yeah.
Okay. My audio went off.
Yeah, I noticed
Alright.
that.
Now, the program actually tried to run. They did not give us the results we needed. Did not give us because the program is but the declaration of the variable is not what we should have assigned to that program. So what do? We now set something else. Let us set our eye to be plastic. Now let's run this program. Have you seen? It has given us that plastic has repeated itself 3 times.
Yeah.
So the idea of splitting words using the comma, and you also notice that we have not put in this bracket, this string brackets. So that's it. I want us to see some differences while running this program. So that is how lists are. So whenever you want to read, make sure there are no commas in the list, in the string, sorry. So if you want to, if you pick a word from Facebook or a particular post on Facebook, and you want to check if that post violates Facebook policy, you know, Facebook has a dictionary of words
Yeah.
that when somebody uses, it can be either abusive, it can be seen as homophobic. So they use those set of words and build a list. So once they build this list, they now separate them by commas, and they now run the program that once it identifies a particular word, it should signal to Facebook that a word has been identified that has violated Facebook policy. So whenever somebody reports your post, this is a kind of program that runs.
Okay.
So they check it. If there are certain words that are not supposed to be there, that is there. So once the words are there, they will now either block you or so. Sometimes they might be wrong because that was not the intention. It is after you now protest, they will now go and review. This is when a human being will now go and read your post then. And when the human being reads, say this person did not write something bad now, they will now unblock you. So when you appeal, but they now say probably it was the context of what you wrote, not necessarily because of the words. The words violated Facebook policy.
Okay.
So that's just it. So we have another program here. I don't know if we can take a break here and continue next time so that we do not take too much time. So I think we have addressed issues about
Your network is even getting weak.
immutability of strings,
Can you hear me?
and we have also talked about identifying words and characters in strings. What do you say?
I was saying that your network is even getting bad.
Hello, Mr.
Uh,
Isaac.
yeah, I said your network is getting bad.
It's getting
Hello.
bad.
Yeah,
Is it getting bad?
yeah.
All right. We'll round up for today. We will round up for today. So we'll continue tomorrow, which happens to be our normal 8 p.m. But I don't know if I can fix tomorrow's one by 8 p.m. But Saturday is sure we will fix by 8 p.m. Tomorrow should be 9:30, but Saturday will be 8, Sunday will be 8.
Okay. What have been in your safer?
So we give thanks to God for this class. We give thanks for we appreciate what He's done for us, and we ask that take all the glory for everything that we have done.
Amen.
Many more praise